And we're live. Welcome back, everybody, to not the hottest stream around. It's a cool 68 Fahrenheit today in here, so it actually is really comfortable. The weather outside has dropped substantially, which makes being in the garage a lot more bearable for now until we get into actual winter months here. But hope everyone is doing well. Let's see who is all here today. Lord Getface in the house. Nice is here. Hey, TJ. Greenbeard, let's see, Dune is here, TJ, did I say TJ? I did not. Ron is here, Keith is here, Colley's here, who did I miss? Del Mar's in the house. Rob, thank you so much for the 21 months. How's it going? Thank you for the support. Little sound effect. So the enemy of today's stream is allergies. Allergies are insane today. I took some medicine, but I've got a brand new box of tissue, and then we're getting towards the end of like our days that are kind of warm here, and so we've had a serious fly problem for the last couple of months, and now they're trying to get inside to like get out of the cold because they know their days are numbered. So right, like as the countdown was going, I was running around the garage with my little extendo fly swatter. So if I think there's still 2 or 3 in here, so if they land somewhere and you see me go off during the stream, it's because I am on a mission to get rid of the flies and keep them out of the garage. Yeah. So game plan today is we are obviously back to this beast, the Venture XL, and we left off I think 3 weeks ago now on this, and we turned it on for the first time. There was no smoke, which was awesome, but we were getting an error, and we spent some time troubleshooting that error on stream, but I was not able, don't swap the printer, I won't. We were not able to get it figured out on stream, and I played around with a bunch of different things, then ended up talking to Taylor or Nero or Canic Creator, just asking if he had a similar issue, because I remember seeing, I watched parts of his stream on this to see if he ran into any issues, and I saw he had something similar, and so it looked like the issue was really silly, and it was that the tool head board, there's switches on the back of it for CAN and USB, and they both need to be CAN for this. My memory slips me, it's been a few weeks. I can't actually see, CAN, yes, they both need to be towards CAN, it looks like. And I had set them both towards CAN on stream, but the switches aren't very stiff, and so what I think happened was when I was reinstalling the toolhead board, I believe I probably bumped one of the switches and that toggled it back to USB, and that's why we were having a communication error specifically with the eddy current probe. I did also end up adding a jumper to a header near the CAN port on the main controller itself, but I'm not entirely convinced that's what it was. I'm pretty positive that it was just a switch on the toolhead board. So the game plan is in about 2 minutes here, I'm gonna plug this into the wall, we're gonna power it up, hopefully not get errors, and then go through the initial startup checks and just start moving forward with this. So, do you have a Ladybug Invasion? Ladybug Invasion, so I had not probably the same way you're describing it. What we ran into, which I was very thankful for, was the garden probably halfway through the season, all of a sudden was just completely covered in ladybugs, and that was awesome because I had issues with aphids, and the ladybug army basically came in and were just devouring all the aphids. But outside of that, we haven't had so much of like an infestation of ladybugs. There's a place that I occasionally used to hike many years ago, and I took Aaron there one time, and that, like, there was thousands and thousands of ladybugs. Like, that to me would be probably what I would describe as like a ladybug invasion. But I've had a fair amount, mostly isolated to the garden. Although last week I did come in the house and Jackson said, ladybug, and pointed at me, and I looked down and there was one crawling up me, but there hasn't been a whole lot. So, hey Steve, nice, thank you so much for helping out with the AC pump fund. So really quickly, I do have an update regarding electrical. So this side of the garage is basically outside of us building this one machine here, 100% dedicated to working on Lightburn and Milmage stuff, which is the company I work for. And so I got some quotes from electricians and basically they were willing to, Lightburn, pay for the electrical on this side for the things that would allow me to work in this section, because I need power for specifically the CNC dust collector. Takes a bunch of power, and I can't run my heater, which in the wintertime gets really cold. So last Thursday, electricians came in and did install. So now I have, the plugs are just your regular receptacles, but I have a 15 amps or a 20 amp circuit that's here with a extra receptacle here, a 20 amp circuit over there with an extra receptacle over here, another 20 amp circuit that's got 2 receptacles in the ceiling and a switch for them for LEDs. And I got the 30 amp, did they do 220? I think it might be a 30 amp 220 quick disconnect outside. So they covered that, which was awesome, because for the last 3 or 4 years when I've been working out in the garage for Lightburn stuff, the summers I'm sweating, I'm completely covered in sweat, in the winters I'm freezing. So the thing I'm gonna be paying for is the mini split. And the one I'm looking at, I think, is around $2,400, but that was awesome. That was awesome because it cut basically the total cost I was gonna have to pay in half. So the thing I need to pay for now is just basically getting the funds together for the actual mini split itself, and then getting that installed right outside this door. You can't see it, but there is a quick disconnect now on the other side of this wall. So that was a massive help, and super happy about that. Not everyone knows they can bite. Oh, I didn't know that. Hey, Dino. They're great in the garden. Ladybug larvae do not like ladybugs at all, though. Interesting. I didn't know they could bite. I have been teaching Jackson that these are nice bugs, and I've had them on my hands and like showed them to him. We must have friendly ones here. Can't you run heater? Just start printing that behemoth. Yeah. Maybe invest in better insulation. This garage is supposed to be insulated. We paid for insulation, and I can climb up into the attic right above here, but it should all be insulated. The doors also have just like your insulation foam panels, but it still doesn't seem like it does that great of a job. Like right now it's 68 Fahrenheit in here, and if I look outside, it is currently 55. So I mean, it is over 10 degrees Fahrenheit warmer in here. So the insulation does seem to work, but just when we get into the meat of winter, there's days where it's like mid to low 40s, upper 30s, mid 30s. And then the other issue is I occasionally have to flush out the garage, especially when I'm working with laser stuff, to get the fumes out. I'm debating on cutting out basically a hole in one of the walls to basically install kind of like a dryer vent that would go externally that I can then connect things like a laser exhaust tube to. But right now I haven't done any cutting into the wall. The first hole I'll be making will be up here somewhere for the mini split once we get that. And that's I think that's a much smaller hole than what I would need for the ducting for the laser to be able to feed outside. So I live in the four corner, hot summers here, cold winters. Even with the well-insulated garage, it gets too hot to work. Yeah, I mean, we were streaming in here a couple months ago, right? And it was oftentimes 90 Fahrenheit to, I think we hit like 92, 93 maybe a couple times, and it's just not comfortable. Once it gets towards upper 80s, I'm pretty uncomfortable. And then once we're in the 90s, I'm miserable. And you're working with lasers and machinery, right? That's also generating heat. You're moving around a lot, so it ends up being a lot. So let's go ahead and do this. I don't really have a good camera angle right now to show, so I'm just gonna go ahead and plug in this cable and power it on, and hopefully we'll boot right up. Everyone keep your fingers crossed. I have had to move everything around because of the electricians working here. And I'll tell you what, like after having that work done, because there was original talk about me doing it myself, some of it, which I hadn't done before, but I'd watched enough videos of adding circuits. I was like, yeah, I could probably do this. But the electricians said that it was specifically, I'll show you guys this actually. Okay, so can you guys see this? Yeah. So there's an outlet that was installed right here. You can kind of see it right on that wall right there behind the CNC machine. So they said that was one of the trickier ones that they've had to do in a while. And the reason is, if you look up here at my ceiling, so this is the left side of this like corner here. So let me point, like this side is my studio / office is right above that. This side on the right side, there is nothing above it. This was basically when the house was built, like 2-car was standard. So the 3rd car bay, like there's nothing above it because the house wasn't designed to have anything above it. So there is a nice little access point there, and it's not too difficult. There's basically 2x4 runners against the side where they were able to use like a right angle drill and drill right into there. But for this one, they said that there's basically a massive beam running across it, and because of code, like you cannot drill into it anywhere where it's not supported by a wall, but where the wall is, they're able to drill into it. But to be able to fish the wire down, they basically had to use some kind of a hole saw to drill into the beam, and then use a right angle shoved in there to drill downward, and then try to fish it around. They just said like it was kind of a pain. It was kind of a pain in the butt. So I think that I would have been up there either freezing, because it's probably cold up there now, like freezing and swearing, trying to figure out what the heck I'm supposed to be doing. So, all right, so that is good news. I'm seeing our tool head, and our tool head is doing a dance. And if I look down at our clipper screen, we do not have any errors. So that is awesome. So what I'm gonna do is grab the IP address really quick here. Let me move you guys to here. Oh, you guys can't, I forgot, we changed computers again, or I went from upstairs to downstairs, so I need to set up the desktop screen, so bear with me here. Let's see, is it this? No, this is music, hold on. Right monitor. Okay, there we go. The only issue now is the scaling is probably way off. So let me, yeah, because this is 1080 and the one we're using upstairs was 4K. So there we go. That should be fixed, I think now, hopefully. You running wires from the ceiling into a wall can sometimes, yeah, be a pain. I think that like the other ones, I mean, some of them probably weren't that bad. Some were probably awful because the ceiling is, you know, at like a pretty sharp peak. So depending on which side they were running wires through, the area to work with is just really, really tight. So I'm just glad it's done. They knocked it out. They basically showed up at 8 in the morning and all the work was done by like 3:30 or 4. It was 2 guys, and I definitely see the value as an electrician having a partner, because it was, you know, one person up there, the other person down below. They both had an AirPod in so they could talk to each other and describe what they're seeing, what they're doing, and yeah, it seemed really helpful. Couldn't be that cold up there. Had a 26-degree wind chill in our cold aisle this morning. Woo! You're lucky in Australia. They would have got an angle grinder and cut it all out. They just chased the wall on angles, so you might not have cables straight above the power outlet. Interesting. Yeah, I'm sure code is way different from like US and other parts of the world. Yeah, okay, so yeah, let me grab the IP address really quickly here. I am happy to see that we booted right up. That means that I did not mess anything up between. Why is this not opening? Oh, there we go. Yes, 192.168, 192.168, 105.138. Oh, that's so exciting. Wow, so they did run some test prints on here. They ran a 4-hour first layer test print, a benchy test print, a cone test print, a 21-hour. Oh, they ran a full day. Huh, okay. I kept having to go stand on the hot side to warm up. I was dying. That sounds awful. You have a wane shaft made of... Wait, what? You have a wane shaft made of... Okay. All right, Tanner. I run wires myself and often wish I had a partner. Makes a huge difference. Yeah. They were also... I was just talking to him because, like, I'm always interested, obviously, in learning a lot of things. And so I was asking about, like, some of the safety stuff, and they said they're basically taught as electricians to work with one hand. That way there would never be a situation where they'd have, like, obviously you shouldn't be touching a live wire or a live and a neutral wire, but basically by teaching yourself to primarily work with one hand and having a partner when possible, like, it eliminates a lot of the risk of grounding, you know, basically of making yourself the ground by holding two wires at the same time. So working the attic in summer is pure torture. I prefer the cold. Yeah, at least with the cold you can just put on a bunch of sweaters. Okay, so there's not a lot of space for me to place things. We'll put the water on the Having the electricians here also made all of the massive spiders that apparently have been hiding in the garage come out, so that was fun. When I let the dogs out the other day. Well, Jackson let the dogs out the other day, and I heard a scream, and I came out here and was like, what happened? And I saw a big, like a pretty large spider right by the doorknob, and I asked him, I said, did you get bit? He said, no. I said, did you just get scared? He said, yeah. So I got rid of the spider, and then he turns to me and like opens his arms. Thank you, Daddy, thank you. and then we went out a few hours later to let the dogs out again, and I was a little bit more cautious because we saw the first spider, but I didn't see anything. And then as I opened the door, this big like black shadow thing streams by my face, and it was another spider that was like paratrooping down. So it's been Spidey season over here. So the main thing I want to check out is if they have any instructions about like first boot. That's really what I want to see. So electrical components, we should be done with all this stuff. This was just, I don't have the cover back on yet for the electronics panel. I also didn't install this. This is for the cutting arm. I don't really plan on, I actually find it a little bit interesting that this is the default they went with, like the Filamatrix, which is intended for basically like filament swapping with something like Box Turtle. So not that I won't ever end up using that, but for now, like the blade's installed, the tool head's all ready to rock and roll, but I'm not going to worry about installing this and getting the macro done. We're just not going to be cutting filament right now. I don't plan on doing multicolor, certainly not at this point with this. So then if we go to electronics guide, I just want to make sure that we've done everything, which I assume like we're on, so I assume everything's done, but yeah, there's really nothing there. So this is just how to update the image file, which everything seems like it booted, so that shouldn't be important. And this is also flashing firmware. So is that really it? They just kind of leave you, they just leave you there? It seems like that's all. So we're probably just gonna go through the Voron startup checks. The only thing I'm concerned about, we can try to just like full send the 4 beds. Yeah, we could try to full send the full 4 beds and see if it even heats up. We do have a 20 amp circuit. I am just checking right now. Okay, so, I goofed. So my PC and the lights and everything are all on the same circuit as well. So if we were to trip the circuit or the breaker, then we would lose the stream as well. So maybe I won't full send, and maybe I will look. There's a macro I saw somewhere in the FYSETC Discord, so maybe we'll do bed stuff last. That's probably the safest thing. Hey, Troy! Check out Australia. Oh, no, I'm good. One of my coworkers, well, a couple of my coworkers actually live in Australia, and some of the, I don't mind a lot of bugs, I really don't. I grew up doing a lot of outdoor stuff and camping, and even a lot of spiders don't really bug me, but like the biggest ones we have here, Clipper is shut down. Clipper has disconnected. What? Hey, GPs. That's weird. Clipper can't connect to the printer. What? Why though? It was just, we were just on. Did we lose? Power is still on. Could not update MCU config as it is shut down. Once underlying issues connected, click firmware restart. Interesting. Let's do a reboot and just see what happens. Well, hopefully that's not going to be a thing. I don't know what would have caused that. I didn't do anything. Yay, FYSETC electronics. Isn't Canik switching over to Big Tree Tech stuff? Clipper has encountered an error. A firmware restart may fix it. Cannot update MCU config as it is shut down. Once the underlying issue is corrected, use the firmware restart command to reset the firmware, reload the config, and restart your host software. So I assume that this is not related to the screen at all, because the screen is really what's running Clipper host on the back end. It's the board that is, so it's either the board, the main controller itself, or it is the toolhead board. But MCU, I would think, is probably the main controller itself, right? Let's see if we go under printer.cfg. Nope, that wasn't right. So MCU. Yeah, so it's the, I assume this is the main spider board itself that's throwing the error. The stealth burner combo should be called SB combo, I would think it would show up as, and then the probe would probably show up as its own thing because it's connected over CAN as well. Comment out the LED barf.cfg. Where is the LED bar? Here we go. Okay. Okay. That's what caused it? Check Clipper logs. I think that particular message happens after another error. Got it. Well, it seemed like that just commenting out the include file seemed to have at least temporarily fixed it. My new hoodie's clean now. Nice. I mean, I could almost use that hoodie today. It is warming up though. It's gotten a fair bit warmer since we've been out here. Oh, this is different. Let's do. Oh, this is really nice. Welcome to the initial startup guide. We're using no, what are we using with this? This is mainsail. Mainsail. And we're not using any of those things. I just want to go through the basics. So start by verifying the temperatures are being reported properly. Navigate, okay, let's check temps. So these all seem to be within range. So temps look good. Cool, start by verify the temperature of the nozzle and bed are present and not increasing. If it is increasing, no. Everything looks stable. Okay. Verify heaters. Okay, so for this, we're gonna verify that the extruder is heating up. So let me move the camera. I don't know how well I'll be able to see this. I did get, like I mentioned, electrical outlets in the ceiling with a switch, so that way I can get better lighting on this side of the garage, because specifically for when I'm working on light burn stuff, there's not a lot of space over there between the laser and the CNC machine to put floor lights, but I have to figure out what lights we're gonna go. So yeah, let's go ahead and change camera here. I mainly just want to make sure that the fan kicks on at the top and that this heats up. So we'll just go like 140. Okay, I hear the fan on. It does look like temperature is rising. A few of us. The LED bar causes too much traffic and machine can't handle it. Got it. That is good to know. And smells great. Nice. A few of us are ripping out all the FYSETC electronics and going into others. Are you gonna still be using the same backplate that it all came installed with, and basically just, yeah, because I would imagine you're still keeping the Meanwhile power supplies, probably the circuit breaker, is it a relay board? So you're just swapping out basically the Spider Pro from the housing there. So you're just gonna kind of, is the plan to print out some kind of an adapter so you can still just use the same electronics housing? Hey Raj! The new Voron docks look awesome. I haven't actually looked at them in quite a while. Okay, so we heated right up to temp. So Temp looks good. I'm definitely not gonna do I'll do a PID probably for the tool head, but I'm not gonna PID tune the beds right now. it'll take the whole stream. So I will have to wait on that. Stepper motor check. Okay, so we're gonna do stepper buzz. So let's first turn off this. Okay, so we are looking at the back left motor. PID tuning the beds doesn't take long, actually. Really? Usually when well, I usually do it. I guess the difference might be that I'm usually doing it for ABS on the Voron builds I've done, and it usually takes a pretty long time to go up and down and drop. Okay, so we are looking at that pulley in the corner there. And so we want it to go, is it counterclockwise and then clockwise, or clockwise? Back up, rotate clockwise first and then counterclockwise. So it should go, it's upside down, so it's messing with my mind a little bit, but basically to the right? No, to the left. Why am I confused right now? If it's flipped upside down, it's going to be reversed. Yes. So it's going to be inverted. Is that right? They actually sent a PI plate for the whole thing. Am I tripping? Is it going to be still the same direction? So if the shaft was facing upward and we wanted it to go clockwise, it would be going left first and then right for counterclockwise. But if we flip it, it would invert it. It would still be the same, would it not? I think it's still the same. So I believe we want it to go left first and then right. Clockwise first and then counterclockwise. Yeah, so left first then right seems right. So let's try that. Here we go. Seems right. Yeah, I was gonna say the pulley, for some reason it was melting my mind a little bit. But yeah, that seems correct. So that, you guys couldn't see that at all. So let's try that again. It looks like it's going left, right, left, right, left, right. And then for the other one, I can't actually see the other one from the angle I'm at. Let me see if I move you guys. Oops. I changed camera so I don't make everyone seasick, but let's check this other one. Yeah, you guys are not gonna be able to see this one. It's way too far back in the corner. So let's see. Let me see if I can even get a good view of it. Yeah, I can see it if I go from way over here. So let's try this for Y. Did we get an error? We sure did. TMC stepper Y reported error. Why did we get an error? TMC stepper Y reports error. Driver status ALF2 S2V2 short to supply. What in the world does that mean? I've never seen that error before. Everything looks wired properly. We've got red, blue, green, black. I don't see any issues with that. It looks like, let me make sure it's all plugged in correctly. Yeah, so far we're definitely running into some hurdles. Everything looks plugged in properly on this side. So I don't think it's to do with my wiring. The wire pairs are wrong on the motor. I had this. Interesting. Even though the wire pairs are, like, they're mirroring the X or the A motor, like, so I don't know which one's A, which one's B, but like the first one we checked on the left was stepper buzz X, and now we're doing stepper buzz Y. And looking at the connector on the board, I have the coloring the same from left to right. It's red, blue, green, black. Can you send me your stepper SPP config? Yeah, sure thing. Stepper SPP config. Where is your, let's see, direct messages. There you are. Okay. Oh, it didn't download the file. Let's see. Keep unverified download blocked. Download unverified file. Okay, I just sent it your way. The reason why I have a hard time thinking that it is a short in this case is because I didn't do any changes to this, unless like they had it set up wrong from factory, which I totally won't rule out. And it's possible that the pinout, I wonder if we can find a pinout for this specific board to see whether they're different between A and B, which is, that would be weird to me. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking at them right now, and unless, yeah, it looks exactly the same, and the A one just worked fine, or the X one just worked fine. So Formbot wired my A and B motors wrong. Yeah, I'm curious to see then whether those ports are different by chance. I'm gonna really quickly see if we go here and we go to I just want to see if I can see a pinout for the motor wires. Spider Pro, awesome. Hardware. Pinouts. Okay, so it should be on the bottom. Yes, so this should be where we're looking at. There is no pinout. I mean, like as far as these go, I mean, they look the same, so I don't know. If AltX is saying that he remembers this error, I wonder. What I could also do is just really quickly here, go to the Discord for Venture and see if anybody else has posted about this issue and what they did to resolve it. So let me see here, FYSETC. I really don't like this new thing. Wait, what? I don't really know enough about this thing, but it's odd, isn't it? I don't get it. They had plenty of time, so they doesn't add up. What did I miss? I don't know what the conversation's about. Okay, Venture XL. In Venture XL. No. Nobody has typed about it. Stepper Y. Nope. Yeah, I can check physical jumpers as well. The only thing is I have to, in order to do that, I have to pull the fan off again, which is fine. Talking about the new YouTube policy about handles. Got it. Did they change? What did they change? Yeah, let's power it off then, and I can take a quick look at the jumpers. So, shut down. Give it a minute. If you come up with something LTX, let me know. Maybe type it in stream chat because it's hard for me to have Discord and stream chat hold up at the same time. Okay, so yeah, I guess I'll probably just pull the fan and not the fan, not the fan bracket. Let's see where it is. This should work. Hey, Lewis, or is it Luis? Lewis. It's Lewis. Is the coloring of the wires the same to the motor as at the board? It should be, but I will verify that. Because should is not safe. So this shows blue, nothing, red, green, nothing, black. Blue, nothing, red, green, nothing, black. Yeah. Yeah, they're identical. They are indeed the same. We could also look at, actually, I wonder... Okay, I'm just gonna pull this to see if there's anything obvious, but then I wonder if we boot it and just look at the config that I just sent over to see if there's anything different between A and B that looks odd. Because we know that, or X, we know that X worked fine. So I'm curious if there's a setting in there that is just different for some reason for this motor, and that's what's causing it to freak out. But it was instant. Like the second I tried to drive it, it freaked out on me. So I don't see any. Okay, so the man, yeah, I can't actually access any jumpers on here without removing the bracket because these are the super beefy drivers, the 5160s, I believe. So I'm gonna leave the fan off for right now, which I know is not great because these need cooling, but for what we're doing right this second, just kind of troubleshooting, I just want to see. So let me plug this back in and let's take a look at the config and see if there's anything there before I dig further into hardware. I wonder if it's running on SPI, it might be set up wrong. Is it? Oh yeah, check that. On this channel, my nickname shows up, but every other channel, it shows the... Oh, is that what you guys are saying? That so there's two things now you're saying. There's like the name, like a name that you chose and then a handle name. I remember when they did that to channels a long time ago because mine was something else. And then now like it's at, I think that this channel is at Modbot Army because Modbot was taken or something like that. And then the main channel. And then the stream channel might be like at Modbot Army with 2 Y's. Yeah, it was weird. What is your name on here is just Troy J. That's what I see at least. All right, so let's take a quick look. So I sent over, man, the flies are circling. I sent over stepper. This was the file. So stepper Y is the one that gave us the error. Stepper X worked fine. So rotation distance 40, rotation distance 40, microstep 16, microstep 16, full steps per rotation 200. Okay. SPI. So I haven't messed around with SPI config in a bit. Is it normal for the 3 pins to be shared? And then only the CS pin to be the different one? I assume it's probably the case. True, 22.5.50, 0.075. Everything there looks fine to me. The only thing I saw different on my config brochures is stepper Z are set to 1.2 to quiet them down. Got it. Okay, so for fun, let's try it one more time. I assume it's an error out again. I'm probably gonna end up pulling the drivers and looking at the steppers on the board here. So let's just, I'm just gonna enter this in, you can't see it, but I'm just doing a stepper buzz. Nope, that's not stepper buzz. Stepper buzz Y. Control C. Where is, there it is. Okay, so yeah, it errored out again. So I'm gonna kill it. I'm gonna pull the bracket and then we're gonna check the, we are going to check the jumpers. They did provide us with 2 extra 5160s. So if jumpers look fine, I could try just straight up swapping out a driver. If perhaps there's a bad driver. I'd like to be able to show you guys this. I just don't know. I probably can. Yeah, if you guys bear with me for a sec, I will just move this camera around so we can look at the electronics together. I basically just need to turn this off, pull the HDMI cable so I can feed it through the other side. Otherwise, you guys are just gonna be looking at my side for this whole time. Okay, so HDMI cable's right there. It's still gonna be an awkward shot, but it's better. It'll be better than the current situation. Okay. Still probably won't be able to see that great on specifics, but hopefully it's a little bit better. Okay. Come on, buddy. There we go. Okay. That's the general area I'm gonna be working in, so at least you guys can see that. You're probably just gonna see a lot of hands for a second here. Side view. There we go. There's something making me remember that Taylor had one of the motors pinned the wrong way on the board connector. Yeah, I don't see how that could be the case because the colors, like I didn't cut and solder anything on these because they were just screw down terminals. I basically just, I don't know how well you guys can see this at all, but like I basically just cut them, stripped them and shortened them. So in this case, like I'm trying to straighten them out, but from left to right, it's red, blue, green, black. And then on this side, it is also red, blue, green, black. And if both of them weren't working, then I would say, yeah, I might have screwed something up. But the fact that X worked fine makes me think that that's not the issue. But I could be wrong, and I've been wrong a lot. So let's just pull this bracket off of here for a moment, so we can pull the driver and see if they forgot to install a jumper. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna pull both of them so I can compare them to each other. You know, these are like kind of awkward to get off. There we go. There is no jumpers. There's no jumpers underneath these. So I'm gonna keep the orientation the correct way. But yeah, there's absolutely no jumpers under any of those. And I don't know if that's how it's supposed to be, or if that's not how it's supposed to be. Swap them and see if the air moves. That is a good idea. We can try that. So this should be how they were. So I will swap them. So this one's on the right. Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea. And I have to assume that there's not supposed to be jumpers, also because one of them worked and one didn't. So, okay, we've swapped their positions. Let's go ahead and plug this in with this beefy cable. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, that's a good point, because if it still airs out, then it's likely not the driver. I know Bitchy boards require jumpers for SPI, but don't know about FYSETC. Seems they don't. It's odd to me that one worked. Like, that's the biggest thing, is like, if they both didn't work, I would think, yeah, okay, there's definitely something wrong, but okay, so stepper Y, it shut down again. So let me try X again. X is working fine. X is working fine. Bizarre. Okay, so that basically rules out the driver to me. Colors are correct. I could try moving the driver that's not working to a different port. We have 2 free ports to see if there's something faulty with that port. Maybe we try that. Check cable both ends. Yeah, let me turn this off. Shut down, shut down. Swap the 2 cables. That is another good thing we should try. Okay, let's do that. Pin definitions could be incorrect. I had my wires messed up on my 0G Nebula build, same error code. Yeah, let's try swapping them then and see. So, unplug you, unplug you, plug you in. Okay. Yeah, because I guess if that works, then it is pretty much safe to say it's the wiring. I switched the wires and it worked. Okay. It could be pin configuration. It could be pin config. Okay, so we're booted back up. So now if I hit this, stepper Y, Wait, that side's working. Yeah. So that is now Y. That's working fine. And if I swap this to X, it's working? What? It looks like it's working. So, hold on. Let me bring you guys over here so I can have a visual from this camera. It definitely didn't get an error. I couldn't tell if things were moving though. It happened really quickly. So this should be now, so when I do X, it should be that side. So let's see if I go like this. It's working. I have a feeling that's what it was, LTX. That the connector might not have been fully seated on one of them, because they're both working now. So let's try this again. Let's turn this thing back off and swap cables back, make sure they're fully pushed in, and then try it again and see if they both work. So unplug. I can leave that plugged in, that's fine. You do take quite a bit of force to push in, so it's entirely possible that they weren't fully seated. Did you repin the connectors? I did repin the connectors. Hi, baby. Are you supposed to come out here? Sounds like mommy's yelling at you. You want to say hi? This is our sick boy. He ran out here so fast. Yeah. Can you say hi? Are you still sick? You still have owie in your throat? Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah, Daddy's working, bubbies. Huh? That's a light, yeah. Hey. Ah. Hey. You gotta go inside and rest so that way you get over being sick. Okay? You gotta go inside and rest, okay? I love you. No, you gotta go inside, bubbies. Daddy's working right now. You gotta hang out with mommy so you get over being sick, okay? Huh? No, you are sick. You throw you out. You can't. Don't go over there. What if there's spiders? Yeah. What if there's spiders over there? I haven't cleaned over there. Hey, let's go. Come on. I'll let you inside, buddy. Could be. Come on, buddy. It could be anywhere. Probably not in Mom's car. There's like 3 flies in here.
Hurry up. Come on.
All right. Dang, he bolted it out here. I heard I heard Aaron go, Jack, and he's gone. Okay, so we're booted back up, I think. Yeah, we are. Let's verify. I've got you guys still looking at, so now the one you're looking at should be Y, which is the one that was giving us errors before. So it's working fine. Cool. And I can see X, so let's verify that X is still working. X is working fine. Okay, our motors are working fine. Yo, that's awesome. You know what motor, you should hear a click when they fully seat. I don't know that I heard a click, but I definitely put more force on them. He does not get those dimples from either me or Mom. No one in my family as far as more has dimples. No one in Aaron's family as far as more has dimples. So we're pretty sure he's ours. They didn't swap him out at the hospital, but I don't know how Jack got like dimples, especially like such deep dimples. Spiders are under your bed. I know, I probably shouldn't joke around with that, but there is some truth to it. Like, I haven't cleaned out, you know, corners of this garage in a while, and after seeing 2 big ones jump from the ceiling, who knows what's lurking in the shadows. All right, so I feel good about those. Now we're gonna go and do the Z motors. So I probably don't need you guys back on this corner anymore, but we'll still leave you guys in the corner for a moment just in case. I think that the Z motors usually go from front left. Go from front left and around, so let's try this. The front of the left corner of the bed moves up. The front left corner of the bed moves up. The bed is not moving up on this. That probably needs to be corrected, but Stepper Z. That aired out. Did we get the same error? We got the same error. I have a feeling that these are not seated fully. Let's take a moment to push all of these connectors in. I have a feeling that's what the issue is. Give it a sec. Oh yeah, this one's absolutely not in, right? So yeah, these aren't clicking. These are not clicking in. I think you have a different board than me too, don't you? Or a different revision? Not that that should make a huge difference, but I thought you said there was a couple of differences. Skill issue, yeah, man. I have been pulling on the wires a little bit too, just to like figure out, because it's a rat's nest right now still. I did shorten things a bit, but they still need like zip ties and probably some of those adhesive like anchor cable tie things that Steve made. So I've been kind of pulling cables around, trying to figure out how I want to position everything. So let's try it again. Okay, so bed, it's going down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay, let's just see if they're all doing that. No, up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay, so the direction of, so this is down, up, that's up, down. Let's see the next one. Up, down. So far, it's just the first one that's not right. The camera angle sucks for you guys. I'm sorry. I wish it was better. It's really awkward trying to move this thing around. All right. So far, 1 and 2. So 0 is opposite of 1 and 2. Let's try 3. Oops. C3. Okay. So it's only the first one. Does that mean it's wired differently? That's why it's different. Yeah. It is flipped. So I will just invert direction and that should resolve it. Let's see. Well, this doesn't have, yeah, direction pin. So Z0 or Z, this one. Where's direction pin? See if that resolves it. What's up, Nappin? All right, so let's verify that this. Yeah, okay, so those are all doing the same thing now, up, down, up, down. So I feel good about our steppers at this point. And stop check. Yeah, let's do this really quickly. So okay, so right now they're all open. let's see, this should be X, should now be closed, or triggered, which did work. And then Y, cool. And then for Z, I think I can just take a piece of metal, maybe like this. Oops. Let's see if I go like this. Yeah, that seems like it worked. Okay, so it looks like the mechanical switches as well as the eddy current probe seem to be triggering correctly, which is good. These are good things. Okay, XY homing check. Whew. I'm excited and nervous to do this. All right. I know you guys definitely want to see this. I'm gonna move you guys back around. Give me a sec, man. I know we're doing musical chairs, but before we start actually trying to print, I do also want to put the fan back on the drivers, the 5160s, just because I don't want to damage them from overheating. I don't know how quickly they'll get hot with just normal printing, but I don't want myself to be the reason that they get damaged. Okay. We should also verify that the emergency stop button is working properly. That would be not ideal if it wasn't and we needed to use it. Let's see, HDMI cable is right here. I think when we build the Micron Plus, we'll probably go back upstairs. It's just easier for me to work up there than out here. And we'll use the outside area for like large machines or just messy things like when we do Milo and get that all up and running. So, okay, so we should be back in action. Maybe. Yeah. Okay. Of course, it doesn't look that great with the bright light, so we'll do it like that. You can build a Micron and yeah, no kidding. Okay, so let's try to home it. Let's first verify that the emergency stop is working. So that is here. So if I hit emergency stop, shutting down. Okay, so it does appear to be working. All right, we're gonna do G28X. Alrighty. On your mark. Wait. Yeah. Get set, go. Oh, that's homing fast, that's homing fast. Okay. It worked. I would have liked for that to have been slower probably. But we're gonna we're okay. And Y. Yeah. Hey, we homed, baby. We homed, baby. Where's
That was easy.
Sweet. All right. So that worked. I really quickly just want to also make sure that the cooling fan can be powered on or off. Yeah, I understand why it's quick. I meant for the sake of like this test, I maybe should have. Cool, that's working. So our layer cooling fan's working like it should be. So really the last thing that I can immediately think of, obviously bed heaters is something we need to check as well, but is homing the eddy current probe. And I don't know much about this specific one. I'm probably going to end up pulling up their documentation and see like what the first run recommendation is. Yeah. Also, nice. This is... Here's our bed. It's an absolute monster. So I'm tempted to throw this on, but I kind of want to throw this on, and then I might throw on a different plate first to make sure it homes properly, because I just don't want it to instantly dig into this, because replacing this guy is going to be a lot more challenging than something like this little 300 millimeter guy that I've got here. So we'll probably do that. Did you verify the hot end and part cooling fans are correct? During my build, the wiring diagram was wrong. Yeah. Wait. Now you got me confused. Oh, that's the, okay, that's the board. I was like, what is the fan? It's the board fan. Yeah, it's working fine. When I turned on the hot end, I'll do it right now again. Yeah, top fan's spinning, and then right now when I did part cooling, it was the bottom fan. Wait, that's not right. You're right, it is backwards. On the stealth burner, it's the top fan that's for your layer cooling. No, you're totally right. The pinout is wrong. Thank you. That would have been, yep, that's wrong. No, you're absolutely, yeah. It feels right, because looking at it, like, the bottom one to me seems like, oh yeah, that's the part cooling fan closest to the part. But no, you're right, on the stealth burner it's not. So the pinout is swapped on those two. So let's change that. So we've got heater fan. I think it's these two, right? Heater fan, hot end fan. So 7 and 0. Yeah, that was a good catch. That would have definitely given me that would have given me some heat creep very quickly. Okay, so now bottom fan is on, which is expected because it's heating the hot end. Or I'm sorry, it's cooling down the hot end. And now when I turn on the regular fan, yeah, now it's right. Yeah, that was a good catch. Thank you, LTX. Yeah, I think we're basically gonna be getting ready to home in a sec here, but the things that need to happen first is one, it's camera inception. You've got the cameras doing a stare off. So the main things I want to do is one, move the iPad off of the center of the build plate, probably out of the printer altogether. It's probably not going to be safe for much longer. Let's stick this just old, wow, that is pretty strong magnets. Let's stick this old 300 millimeter. Can you get it off? Okay, I'm gonna stick this in the center, so hopefully we can home on this to verify that it homes. Hey, George! And then I'm gonna pull up the website for this. What is the name of this eddy current probe? I can never remember it, and I ask every freaking stream, I feel like. Eddy current probe. It's not you. Cartographer, thank you. It's not even that hard of a name, but it's one that... Cartographer probe. All right. Before you begin, software, hardware. I would think hardware we're fine on. Location, yeah, we don't have to worry about that, so it's software. Clipper setup. I feel like this is probably fine. Select Cartographer Clipper module. Yeah, I'm not worried about that. We're already connected to it. Clipper config. For Cartographer to receive usable readings for touch to be accurate, you must place Cartographer between 2.6 and 3 millimeters above the nozzle. Your tool head Cartographer must be rigid. You want to use probe for input shaping. If you want to use the probe for input shaper, please add the following. Okay, I feel pretty okay with that. I mostly want to do initial calibration. Calibration can be done hot or cold. On the machine in X and Y, which we've done. Position the nozzle in the center of the bed. Okay. So ours will be 300 by 300, I think. So this says that we home at okay, so this says we home at 657. I am going to just approximate that the middle of the bed is 300 by 300 approximately. So let's do that. G28 home we did G0X125. We'll just enter it here. So 300 by 300. Okay. Approximately in the center. Hey Dan, any chance you're free later for me to pick your brain on something, either on Discord or if you still have my number by text? Maybe. What's today? Today's Wednesday. Yeah, I mean, I might have a few. The wifey and Jackson are getting over being sick, but this evening I might have like a little bit of time. If you want to shoot me a message on Discord, I will do my best to reply in a somewhat timely manner. That's probably, I would say that's best. I'm usually quicker to be able to respond on Discord than I am text message. At this point, you might notice that your end stop is triggered. This is normal. Ours is not triggered though. We checked and ours seemed like it was working correctly, so. Start the calibration process. You can either use the web interface or adjust the nozzle height for the bed. We need to go way lower than this to... Did you do this LTX or did you just home it in Z? Because it seems to me like it was detecting correctly when I used a level, and I'm tempted to just send it into this plate that I put down. Yeah, I thought it was allergies with Jack, because like we all kind of here have allergies. Landon has horrible allergies, and I feel bad because he's, you know, he's so small and he's got such tiny nostrils that he kind of sounds like I was told my dad, because my parents haven't met him in person yet. They're coming out next week, but he sounds like a pug almost like 75% of the time when he breathes. But with Jackson, yeah, I thought maybe it was just like seasonal allergies. You know, we're in fall now, and he just had a really runny nose for a couple days. But then 2 nights ago, it turned into a pretty deep cough, and then Aaron woke up that day not feeling good. So we're pretty convinced. I'm gonna do the whole calibration a few times. Got it. The only thing, yeah, okay, so we can do this, it's fine. Cartographer manual calibration. We're going to have to jog this thing way the hell down because we are up oh so high. Is there any way to rapid jog, or do you have to go by 1 millimeter at a time? Like literally click. This means that I have to click 500, like, I mean, not quite 500 times, but maybe. Is there no, I don't know of any quicker way to jog this down. If there is, someone tell me. Someone save my finger. I think the touchscreen has higher intervals. Oh, it does. It does. Lower nozzle. Yeah, we can do 5 millimeters. 5 millimeters makes a substantial difference. I don't see, I think you meant 5 millimeter, right? Yeah, 5 millimeter. That's what I was concerned about, was having to spam 1 millimeter. We're making our way downtown, y'all. Hey, Luke. We are getting there. I don't think I have a good piece of printer paper down here, but I will try to find one really quickly. Okay, that's as low as I'm gonna go without swapping over to a lower increment. What's up, Kegel? Happy Wednesday. Can't believe it's almost freaking Halloween. Is anyone doing anything? I think I might have asked this a couple weeks ago. Is anybody doing anything cool for Halloween? Or is anybody dressing up? Like, doing anything cool or dressing up? Is anything cool? Okay, this is too thin of paper. I feel like I must have a piece of printer paper or something along those lines out here somewhere. This is just... I could run upstairs if I need to. Yeah, this is way too thin. We'll use this. The back of my pressure washer manual. This feels close to what I would use. My family's doing the inflatable dinosaur costumes. Nice. Inflatable dinosaur costumes. Nice. Also, I've got filament on the nozzle, so this is not actually gonna do much. I'm not gonna be able to get this exactly how I want it at all. You can use web interface, just use piece of paper, feel like it's the offset once finished with the paper. Yeah, this is not, I mean, I guess I can probably adjust this live, I would imagine, as well. So we're just gonna be too far away to start off with until I have the ability to clean the nozzle. That is already too... Yeah, we'll call it that, but that's not going to be where we want it. Inflatable dinosaur costumes sound awesome. Okay, accept. Okay, well, it seems like it did the thing. Hey, Kenneth! Save the config, home your printer. All right, save config. We're just gonna full send it and see what hums. Like, see if all axes home. Here we go. Well, it looks good to me. All right, let's do a quick little probe accuracy test. Nope, that's not what I want to do. Probe accuracy. Looks like every 2 probes it's shifting a little bit. Like it's shifting like 0.0. It's bouncing back down. Let's see, maximum 2.0, minimum 2.013, range 0.03. That seems like a pretty good range to me. Standard deviation 0.008095. I would say that's probably more than accurate for our needs. You can also measure the backlash of your z-axis. You get results split out following. And then in this line, we have a measurement called delta. Take note of that. Locate the configuration section. Huh, I have not used this backlash compensation. Curious if this is going to make it jog somewhere else. Hey, what's up, Scott? Maurice! I feel like I haven't seen you in a bit. Am I wrong? Thank you so much for the 27 months, man. All right, let's try this backlash compensation. I just want to see. I don't think I've ever ran this before. Basically just jogging up and down. It has been 2 weeks. All right. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I don't feel like I've yelled Maurice in a little while. Everything going all right with you, man? All right. Median distance, delta 0.042, 0.02423. So this says, to make use of the backlash estimation is given, you will get results spit out starting with median distance. In the line will be a measurement called delta. Take note of that value. Locate the configuration marked backlash comp. So our delta is I'm gonna copy delta. Copy delta. Says, locate the configuration section marked backlash comp and compensation or backlash comp. So I don't know if there's a separate config file for this. Let's see. Bed, Blobifier, Crow's Nest, debug, camp, clipper, main cell, moonraker, printer, CFG. I don't see one for this specifically. So scanner, backlash comp. Okay. Update the section with your newest estimated backlash compensation. It's a good idea to do this compensation test at all 4 corners of your build plate and then again at the middle of your build plate. If you're on a printer with belted Z and the values in each corner deviate heavily compared to other corner results, this would indicate a loose belt in those corners. If you are using a printer that supports either Z-tilt or quad gantry, you'll need to ensure that your probe is positioned above the bed when performing this. Open your printer and find the appropriate section. For example, your quad gantry level section may look like this. You should in your console navigate to each point to ensure that your probe is not hanging off the edge. Got it. I'm gonna assume that I don't need to do that and that they did this correctly, but is that a safe assumption? Probably not, but we're gonna try it. Okay, so for right now, I'm just gonna update this value with what we just got. Okay. And then we're gonna home again. I'm gonna put the build plate on and we're gonna try to do a quad gantry level. Just for fun. That's right. Someone, was it you that mentioned that tuxedo last week that I haven't seen Jose in a little bit? I think this is ringing a bell. I don't know if it was last week's stream or the week before, but I feel like someone had mentioned that we hadn't seen him recently. I don't think I've talked to him on Discord before. I don't know. Does he have the same username on Discord? Okay, so let's raise our Z just a little bit. Let's go up like... I know that there's something included in this kit that's supposed to make it where it makes it easier to align the big build plate. I did not install that yet. I very likely will do something to make it easier to align the monster build plate, but for right this second, I'm not gonna do that. Scott, are you doing anything for Halloween? Jackson has this adorable monster onesie thing that he got a year or so ago, and he tried it on a couple days ago. I came running upstairs when I was working in it, and it still fits him. It was big when we got it originally, so he's gonna be this like fluffy monster, but we're not doing much. I think last year we had some neighbors over and we just did like a bonfire in our driveway and gave out some candy, and I think that's the plan this year, but I don't really know who's all gonna be around. It's usually really cold here on Halloween, so I feel like most people do things early and then kind of call it early, so we'll see. So my game plan is to do a quad gantry level. We probably also are gonna need to adjust these beds, I would assume. LTX, if you're still in chat, when you did a bed scan with this, did you basically just put the spring steel down, do a bed scan, see what sides were like higher, take the flex plate off, and then adjust the screws, put the bed back on, and rinse and repeat that process over and over again until you're happy? Because currently that's probably my plan of attack. I don't think I'll go that far with it today. We'll just kind of get it working, and then ideally I'd love to print out even just a little cube or something. Flying to Seattle to carve pumpkins with grandkids and have, oh, that sounds freaking awesome, dude. Pumpkin carving and barbecue with family sounds awesome. My parents will be out here on I think Tuesday, so I don't know. I'm hoping that they'll come over for Halloween, but I don't know. That was not bad. I'm a little bit heavy on the right side, but that was pretty good. Okay, let's just try a quad gantry level. I want to see if it can even do it. Let's just point down, zoom out, and see if it is able to accomplish it without an error. All right, QGL. I will, yeah. Our first print is going to be small. It probably will be like a 20 mil calibration cube. Okay, so scanner's over the bed. That looks fine. Scanner's still over the bed. Yeah, it looks like they at least got the points. We'll see, I guess. Maybe. Yeah, we're still on the bed. Honestly, the deviation's not that horrible. I mean, it's a 3mm range. So it wasn't great, but like considering how big, you know, it's all relative, right? And considering how big the gantry is, to me, 3mm deviation is really not that bad. For me, having just bolted everything in and not ever doing a quad gantry level before. Okay, now it's down to 0.82, so we've shaved off 2mm. It has the tolerance set to 0.02, which to me might be a little bit optimistic for such a big printer. I don't know that we're gonna hit our 0.02. I'll let it run a couple more cycles, but that feels a little optimistic to me. Down to 0.2 now. It's making its way downtown. I don't think we're gonna get much closer than this, but we'll see. I'll let it run a few more times here. Also, I'll probably get the giveaway opened up in a little bit here, maybe in like 15 minutes. We'll do it at 1:45 my time. Change it up. Okay, we're down to 0.067. I'll probably let it run 3 more cycles, and if I don't feel like we're getting there, then I will... Yeah, it's going well. Yeah, it's not having issues. Motion seems pretty smooth. Drag chains aren't dragging. The only thing is I did unplug the X, so there's a LED strip that's under the X extrusion, the entirety of it. And I did unplug that cable when we were... Ooh, tolerance is down to 0.022. We're so close. I did unplug the cable when I was having issues 2 weeks ago, trying to figure out what was going on. I didn't plug it back in. I might plug it back in. I do have concerns about the board being able, like the toolhead board being able to output enough power for that without causing issues, but I might give it a go. We'll see. Not today though. It's using the Cartographer. So it's the eddy current style probe. Dude, it got our last range down to 0.0055. I told the Venture that I don't know if it could do it, and it said hold my beer. All right, well that's awesome. Okay, so that feels good. The next thing we should probably do is heat up the beds. I'm just torn. I think that sending all 4 of them is going to be probably too much to do at once. I know that I saw, I think it was Esoterical maybe, had a macro in the Venture XL repo, or not repo, in the Venture XL Discord. Let's see. Macro. Why is that not? Oh, it's because I tied the words together. Here it is. Adaptive heat macro. Add this to your printer config folder. Include adaptive bed mesh. All right, let's try this. What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? Here we go. Okay. So it's adaptive underscore bed underscore heat. Yes. Adaptive. Nope, that's not right. Adaptive. I can't, sorry, the keyboard is at a weird angle, so that's my excuse for typing rap. Adaptive underscore bed underscore heat. Adaptive underscore bed underscore heat dot CFG. Nope, not CDG. CFG. Okay. Include adaptive underscore bed. Hey, that's CFG. That looks fine. I just want to make sure there's nothing else. Remove all the set heat temperature and put a single line. I just want to do this so that way I don't pop a circuit when we go to print something. So this basically like stagger heats the beds. That's for anyone wondering what I'm doing. And so this should be under a print start macro, which probably lives down here. Print start. There we go. So basically you're getting rid of all of this and just replacing it with a single line. Cool. Okay. Hey, hon, can this thing hit one of the 4 beds if only using that area? I don't think it can do it intelligently, but I could be wrong. Like, I think you're basically asking similar to like adaptive mesh, right? Where it would only mesh the certain area that you're printing in. I don't think so. I would think that it would be possible through macros, given that Clipper is so controllable like that. I just don't believe it exists currently. Did you set up Cartographer Touch? I did not set up Cartographer Touch. I don't believe... If you are not using Touch, you should now continue with this guide. Setting up Touch. Okay, so we'll do Touch then really quick. Yeah, we'll do that as like a final thing before we heat the beds. I am going to heat up the... let's home everything and then heat up the nozzle a little bit because I want to remove the little bit of plastic on there so it's not interfering with anything. Yeah, I got a little trigger happy. I did the regular calibration and completely missed the Cartographer Touch side of things. So let's bump this up. And I think I've got some tweezers somewhere laying around here. Maybe this tub. Let's see. I could use this, I guess. Just some flush cutters to grab the plastic. Yeah, when the electricians were working in here last Thursday, I kind of had to just shove everything in different corners because they had to get everywhere, man. They had needed access in the center to get into the attic. They needed access to all walls, basically, because a receptacle went in all walls. And they needed access to 2 sections in the center of the ceiling to run the lines for that and then cut into the drywall. So I had to just like shove everything into a corner. So things are even a little bit more chaotic than normal, if that's believable. Okay, so I've heated this up just a tiny bit. Didn't seem like enough. Let's heat it up to 150. I had to do similar for AC installation. Oh, nice. You got AC. That's awesome. Where did you, in the house or in the garage? Where did you get AC installed? Okay, that nozzle looks clean. Pull down. Okay, so Cartographer, next thing we're doing is basically the touch functionality or tap functionality, which I would think is probably going to be similar to like the Eddie NG stuff that I've done a couple times now. So let us do this. It says perform a homing, so let's just do one more homing for fun. Move this out of the way. In the house, we don't have a garage. Got it. Is it central AC or mini split? I feel like most, I mean, maybe not most places, but I feel like a lot of places in the world do mini split systems for the house versus running like a central AC unit. Once you get the machine moving, then the fun begins of mystery problems. At least you have fun experience on how to fix it. Kind of just lost his machine. I did see, I didn't watch the stream, but I did see, I'm subscribed, so like it came up in my feed, something about troubleshooting. I've seen a few streams pop up when he's gone live that says something like, it broke, can we fix it? Or something along those lines. Okay, if using the printer requires quad gantry leveling, I did quad gantry leveling, so I'm not going to do... screw it. We'll do one more quad gantry level. Why not? It did it. I would imagine it won't take nearly as many times this time. Is there... LTX, is there like a Orca slicer profile for this? Or are most people just taking a 2.4 profile, scaling the X, Y, and Z, and and calling that good for now. That's probably what I'll end up doing, is just taking a 2.4. Oh wow, look at that. It didn't even have to do more than one cycle. That's impressive, man. My 2.4 LDO kit that I built always has to do somewhere between 2 to 3. Like that is awesome. 4 wall units, 2 outside units. Nice. Got it. That's really nice. So there are so basically two zones, it sounds like. All right, so we're done with that. Next up is, it says to home Z again. I have a package AC system. Oh, 1 3 zone and 1 1 zone. Interesting. I'm sure there was adequate reason for it. I'm not an AC expert. I just assumed that it was an even split of 2 and 2. Okay, it says initiate a threshold scan. Okay. Prior to doing a threshold scan, make sure the nozzle is clean. It is. Bed is clean, yes. Your bed, yep. Kinematics are rigid. I would say we have all those things. So let's see how this goes. Okay, I told it to do a threshold scan. Doesn't appear to be doing anything. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Definitely doesn't appear to be doing anything for that. They should start a touch process. They'll move the tool in the starting position and then lower until it touches the bed. Your nozzle is clean, yes. Your bed is clean, yes. Your probe is between 2.6 and 3 millimeters of the nozzle, I would say yes, and your kinematics are rigid. So why did we not move or do anything? The Cartographer threshold scan is used to scan a range of threshold values to find the most consistent, reliable threshold for the touch sensor. This function performs a series of probe tests. Oh, did I answer? I want a sandwich? I can totally take a sandwich in a little bit. Yeah, if you're making sandwiches, that sounds awesome. Sorry, I didn't see your message. Yeah, I don't understand. Available print about CFG settings. It's weird to me that it didn't even error out or anything. Like it just didn't attempt to do anything. Scanner touch threshold. I'd like a sandwich too. So the scanner is right here. Number of passes to make during mesh scanning. Scanner touch is the offset, is the default, and will be overwritten. I would think that the default would be applied without me needing to add it. Scanner touch threshold. Max temp 150. Is there a min temp that we're not hitting? I would think that no matter what, we should be getting some kind of feedback. Does it need a default? You shouldn't have to change anything for that command. Yeah, I didn't think so, right? It's odd to me that, like, if it's a default, it should just be running behind the scenes. I just don't get why it's just not doing anything. Thank you. Does your screen, my screen says nothing at all. No, there's no, let's do a quick little, like, let's just do a reboot, a system reboot. I'm just gonna try homing it and running it and seeing if something with, I don't know, something with a command I was running before made it wig out. If I have to troubleshoot it, I will a bit later. We'll play around with it for a little bit longer, but I definitely want to get some plastic. We know we also didn't check the extruder to make sure that was working, so we should verify that the extruder motor is indeed working. So let's home all. The cache on the printer fills up and slows it down, it seems. Okay, so let's just try. No, it's not right. What's the command? The command was Cartographer threshold scan. Copy, paste. It is not doing anything. So I don't know that this is a. I wonder if, is it a versioning thing that like they don't have the right version of Cartographer, the latest version that has this touch compatibility? It says Cartographer probe 1.0.0.0-97. I don't know what the latest versioning is. Scanner needs to be of any other references. Yes, calibration, print start, migrating from Cartographer to scanner, firmware, broken catapult, canvas, bitrate, firmware switching, firmware updating. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. Let's see, is there a need assistance, troubleshooting? I did home first. You didn't see that? I did do a home first. There's a I ran a, wait, what? Yeah, I ran a G28 to home everything, and then I ran a threshold scan. I think you'll still have to be in the calibration process. Got it. I could try that. So we can try this again. G28, G29, we're in the middle. Cool. Manual. Okay, so we'll do the, at least this time I can get the paper more accurate. Because I pulled off the, bit of filament that was blocking it earlier, so. That honestly feels, pretty good. I think we're gonna roll with that. Or should I set it? I might set it a little bit higher, just for the sake of the bed, to protect it. So let's go up like 0.01. Yeah, that's too far away for sure, but I'm gonna roll with that for now. And then adjust it. Okay, so it says, what am I supposed to do after that? We did that. Position the nozzle in the center of the bed. Okay, accept. Save the results to your config. Okay. So that is resetting it. So that should be taking us out of that mode. If this doesn't work this time, I will just move forward with it for now, and I'll circle back to this. So that's fine. Now it wants us to home it again. We did the Backlash thing, so I'm not going to run through Backlash again. I'm also going to try for fun here to heat up the bed slowly. So let's just like, here, if I go, so heat bed 1, let's just set it to 50 and see what happens. I will end up PID tuning it, but I might end up PID tuning it later. Is it in touch mode? I don't know what that means. Like, I don't know how do you make it go into touch mode? That got up to 50 Celsius pretty quick. I realized 50 Celsius is not that hot, but that was pretty quick. Oh, make sure the right bed is heating. That's a good point. I don't know. I'll have to reference the build in a second here, or like the manual there. Got it. Okay, so you're saying probe switch mode. It's weird that it doesn't tell you to do that here though, right? One is front left, got it. Oh, one is... So one is front left? Okay, front left feels warm. Two... Okay, so I would say front left and back left feel warm currently. Okay, so let's just get these for fun to 50 Celsius, which I realize is not that hot, you know, again, but let's just get them to 50. Then we'll do a quad gantry level, then we'll do a scan, then I'll switch to touch mode and see if I can get this working. Oh, you're saying before doing this, you think do probe switch mode equals touch and then a save config? It'll basically save it in touch mode in firmware by doing that? Now look at the top of Carto calibration and it has touch probe. Oh my God. If you're using Cartographer for auto Z offset, you'll need to follow any extra touch specific instructions. First, make sure you're in touch mode. Holy crap. It's literally big and in red. Oh my God. Yikes. All right, we will definitely do that. I do really quickly just want to run a I want to run really quickly the oh, yum. 1 second. Hey, monkey, inside, monkey. Inside. Hey, you guys see inside? Daddy's still working. You're gonna get... He's gonna make you chips and sandwich.
Come on.
that boy. Lots of fits lately. Okay. All right, one more quad gantry now that things are warm. Then we'll do a mesh. Then we'll switch it modes. We're getting there. This machine will eat your lunch if you bounce around too much. It has all kinds of experiences in store later. What is that? What do you mean if you bounce around too much? Bounce around docks? Bounce around, like, physically moving the machine? All the beds are at 50 Celsius. Sorry. I did heat up bed 4. Oh, snap! Yep. Please try to bounce the machine. Well, I didn't know if you meant like if you try to move this machine around, like even on casters, it'll throw things off. Like I wasn't sure what you meant. We'll run one more quad gantry level once this is done heating. Sorry for yelling. Sorry for yelling. I swore I was seeing 450 Celsius readings, but I clearly was not. I did install a bed heat up macro, but it's strictly set up for print start right now. Massive BQ airless basketball. That'd be a basketball for giants. Jack would love it. Heat bed 4 is not heating up. Okay, retries aborted, that's fine. Okay, now it's heating up. I have a feeling it's because of the fluctuation in bed stuff right now. So it's heating up, like here, now you guys can see it. It is actually heating up. Let me open let me open the giveaway link as well. Okay, I can let her out. Who let the dogs out? You go. Boop. Okay. Airless space hopper. We can build one, well, maybe not big enough for Jack, but definitely for baby Landon. Okay, giveaway link should be pinned in chat now, everybody. Also, let me move screens here before I accidentally show people's emails. There we go. Okay, so we're at 50 Celsius. Let's try another quad gantry level now. Hey, Christopher. Thanks for joining in. We've basically been building this for like 3 months, this big printer. So this is the first time we've actually made it move. Okay, tolerances were really close on that last one. We were 0.006 off. The bed is 600 millimeters by 600 millimeters. It's ridiculous. It is an absolute monster. Okay, so now we're gonna run our first bed scan. This will show us just how, wait, what? No. I think that it's going to be screwed up because it bumped my iPad. He started this at the same time I started my cell changer, and I just got a cereal print last night. That's awesome. Hey, congrats on the cereal. You can now print kitchen cupboards. The biggest thing is going to be getting this thing to be as reliable as possible, because if it's not reliable, printing big things is going to be absolutely awful. Oh. I feel like we can probably go a lot faster than this. This feels really slow for... I guess it is a massive printer as well, so that's probably also why it feels pretty slow. But yeah, we'll ignore the front, like, first scan or two, because it definitely hit the case on my iPad. Let's take a guess at how crooked, like, what's our range as far as deviation goes. If I had to guess, because I just eyeballed the beds, the 4 beds, I think our range is going to be 5.5 millimeters. Come on, monkey. I think our range is going to be 5.5 millimeters. Just let the dogs in real quick. I could be wrong. It could be better. But I didn't put that much time and effort into making... I figured that I would be using this probe to sort of level... Is it going backwards? It's doing twice? Oh, it sure is. No way, 0.08. Yeah, we'll definitely optimize this. Plus, I think that, I mean, unless I'm printing something big where it needs to scan the full bed, it's going to be doing variable meshing, so it's not going to be scanning nearly this much for, you know, regular prints. Like, if our first print is just a tiny cube, it'll be a lot quicker. But my primary use for this right now is going to be to try to use it to get the beds as flat as possible, so that way it's only having to compensate with the mesh for hopefully a much smaller range. Yeah, look, I saw something pop up. It says right here, no objects detected. Check your G code and make sure the exclude object define is happening before bed mesh calibrate is called. So it says defaulting to regular meshing. So it looks like it already is set up for variable meshing, which makes a lot of sense, right? With the size of this printer, it's a substantial difference meshing 100% of it versus 30% of it or something like that. Wayne says 6.9. What did I say? I said 5.5, I think. All right. You ready? Here we go. Oh, wow. That is way better than I was expecting. Our range across the entire thing is 1.53 millimeters. I was expecting it to be way larger than that. And it looks like the peak is right in the center. So, I will very likely it looks like, I mean, I assume one of the bed corners is just sticking up higher, and that's what's really triggering a lot of it. So this needs to go down. There's a corner over here that needs to go up. But that's a lot better than what I was expecting. I mean, it really is. Yeah, this one, it's funny because it's like, it looks so dramatic, right? Because it's within a range and it kind of, but it is really not bad at all. It's really, really not bad. And also, it's possible, like, where did we start? So X is here, and Y is going that way. Because this is where I think it bumped my iPad, like right here, which doesn't look like it really affected much, actually. Yeah, you can definitely see each bed, which is pretty cool. This is definitely, I mean, by far the largest scan I've ever done. Okay, so now that we've got that, I will save this. That's fine. I don't think I know LTX. You said maybe it has to be within like calibration mode to do that other command. I don't think that is the case because it has me reset it a couple times in the instructions. I have a feeling that the only issue is probably because I didn't set it up like this. So we will, as soon as this reboots here. MCU shutdown, misscheduling of next digital out event. Okay. You should do your beds at normal operating. I mean, it wasn't that far off from normal operating temperature. 60C is probably mostly what I'll have this at. Maybe 70. So I guess I could probably bump it up a little bit, but it wasn't that far off. But I do agree that like letting the beds heat up to what you're actually printing at, and then okay, so I just switched it to touch mode, the cartographer. Now we're gonna save it. So now I believe, oh, also our music is done. Let's change that. Okay, so next up, I think we can skip this and basically just go to here. So we're gonna do another homing. It did look like a TP. It really did look like a TP. All right, let's do, I'll do one more QGL. Sorry, I know this is taking forever, but this is just a Z home actually. Just if the probe goes correctly here and works, and we get through the probe calibration, the next thing we're doing is printing, or attempting to. Error during homing. Communication timeout. Awesome. Oh, you have one of these, B-Dog? I didn't realize you had one of these machines. Are you still rocking stock electronics, or did you swap a bunch of your electronics out already? You need to be realigning the bed, a few spacers, and you'll be good. Yeah. Well, the bed, each of the beds are on springs, nice. So each bed has 4 springs and screws. So I just need to actually tighten and loosen some of the screws, and it'll help get me in a closer range. Okay, cool. So that worked. Now we're gonna home again. Home Z. Okay, so now we're gonna try a threshold scan and see if it works. I think it will now that it's in touch mode. Yeah, there we go. Says it's failing. Hey, Nadir. I'm putting Leviathan, Nighthawk, and Beacon in it next week. Nice. So you're gonna run it over USB then? You're gonna switch from CAN to USB? Are you still going to be running the Cartographer, or are you swapping that out too? Hey, Jeff! Okay, it's failing. So it's like cycling through threshold values, I guess, to see where it stops failing. So now it's going, I can show you guys too what I'm seeing on this. Actually, let's go, you can't see that, so let's go here. What Raspberry Pi are you gonna use? My my 2.4 has had some communication timeouts with USB stuff. And I think it's because it's running a Pi 3B. And I think that I'm not sure if it's an MCU thing or if it's like a USB bus thing, but I think it's just getting overwhelmed when it is doing too much at the same time, like the camera, the probe stuff. Like it just seems like it's getting so. I've been wanting to swap it up to like a Pi 4 or even a Pi 5 if that's recommended now. I know for a long time Pi 5 wasn't recommended, but I'd like to think that's probably changed. Pi 5 is overkill. Generally speaking, I would agree. I'm just curious about the USB capabilities between the between Pi 4 and Pi 5. A lot of failing going on here. Pi 5 works great now. It's easier to get a Pi 5 now, and for me, cheaper. Got it. Yeah, times have changed, man. I remember when having a Pi, like they were getting scalped. It was so difficult to get them, at retail at least. Does it say how big of a range this is going to check? It's okay if at first it doesn't touch about all. This is normal. Eventually you start touching. Cartographer threshold scan speed 2 is also available if the initial scan fails. Okay, I don't know how long this is going for. I think it goes up to 2500 actually, right? Isn't that what it said the default was on the back end? Oh, good threshold found. Okay, cool. Yay. Oh. I mean, it seems like we're making some progress, though. We did get one that was good. This is why now I always have 2 or 3 Pis in stock. Yeah, I was following a bunch of websites that were showing when the Pis were coming back in stock, and so I have a decent amount. I've used a lot of them for builds, but I still have a decent amount. I have quite a few of the CM4 modules that I bought and just never used for anything. Okay, this is just failing. So I have a feeling that 2500 is going to be the last range that it uses. It said that's the default. The Venture was my first printer build. Oh gosh, so I'm still getting used to all this stuff, especially firmware. Dude, that is that's crazy. That you are absolutely the strongest person I would not recommend building a Venture to. Okay, I don't know how far this is going. Does anyone that's done this before? I'm tempted to just end this and try the other thing it said, which is basically, if however, wait. It'll eventually start touching. It is also available in initial scan. It actually wasn't bad at all, but all the software is wonky. Hey! No fully optimal threshold found. All right, so let's try. We'll try it with this. I mean, usually though, like from building quite a few things over the years, this is definitely not the experience of building a lot of printers. From an instruction standpoint especially, it's usually a lot more clear. I'm gonna let this go for like 5 or 6 more minutes before I just call it for now and come back around. It's running great right now. It's been running for 4 days straight and 3 successful prints. Nice. Well, that's good to hear. There's a lot of stuff on here that I like. Like, I mean, the extrusions to me seem fine, the rails seem fine, the motors seem fine, the screen seems fine. It's mostly the question mark stuff I have is like, the hot end was a terrible choice. I also argue that I don't know if Stealth Burner would have been my choice for this printer. I feel like bigger cooling and maybe lighter weight would have been probably my preference. And then I get why FYSETC used FYSETC electronics. It would be very strange for them not to, but I just haven't had an awesome time using FYSETC electronics in the past. There's always been some quirks to me. Not only due to the size, but FYSETC aren't the best. Yeah, I was just gonna say, like the experience I've had with, like the experience I've heard and the experience I've had was like documentation lacking and some quirks. When the main one I could think of was the FYSETC, was it the Crucible maybe? I did a video on it. It was like a B0 all-in-one board for the back, which ended up working out okay. I'm running it, I'm pretty sure, one of my B0s still, but when I was working on the video for it, it was just like, dude, where's documentation? Where's the files? Like, why is this not working? It could have been so much easier. So this is going much faster, but it still seems like it's not really super stoked on the results it's getting. But it's definitely going faster. So we'll let it run through because I think it'll probably be done in the next 4 or 5 minutes. And if it doesn't find a value that works, then we're gonna move forward, I guess. Catalyst, that's right. Yep, not Crucible. Catalyst is exactly right. I'm running the Kraken in my Trident, and I've been happy with the Kraken as well. Even what's their other, not Manta, but the Octopus. Like, I've been happy with Octopuses as well. Your build series is on YouTube. Oh, nice. Credit goes to Canik's video and LTX Design for all this helpful troubleshooting. God, it's not looking good as far as us getting a value. Did you guys end up finding a value that worked, or did you guys get the same thing with failed, failed, failed throughout the entire process? I've never ran this before, so I just don't have any sort of good threshold found. Failed. I'm running a MKS Monster 8 in my Nebula build, and I like it. I might have one of those. I know that it's MakerTech, right? That doesn't sound right. MakerTech? It's been a while since I've used one of their boards. That doesn't sound right though. But they sent me a board quite a long time ago. I don't know how old the Monster is, but they sent me a board for like 2.4 builds that I think is 8 driver. I have a Kraken V1.1 for 48 volts, all-wheel drive soon. Oh, nice. MakerBase, that's right. God. Yeah, MakerBase is what I meant. What did I say, MakerTech? Yeah. All right, well, it doesn't look like we're gonna find one. It's on the last value. It said found a good value again at 2,500, a good threshold value found, so. If however you get not a final result, it did not touch the bed, it is indeed touching the bed. And then you start touching her, start the process again, no. Once it finds an optimal threshold and you've seen the nozzle touching the bed, it will stop this process. Now do a touch calibration with a new threshold. It also said 3,000 was a good threshold. Wait, how high are we going? I thought that it stopped at 3,000. Good threshold. Okay, so it's liking. We are getting more good thresholds. I mean, it is still failing. I don't really know what that's all about, but it's found a good threshold at 2,500, 3,000, and 3,250 now. Hey, there was a non-failure. Are you getting deviation to the peak on the bed? Maybe put it someplace else. That's possible. It did, I mean, this worked as well. Qualify attempt number 2, successful. I wouldn't think that would be it. I mean, it's possible. There we go. Optimal threshold determined. Great. That's a super small deviation. But yeah, that's possible, Kali. But considering that I know it looked like a peak, but considering that the entire deviation was only 1.5, I'd have a hard time believing that whatever impact the peak was having in that spot would be really affecting it. But it's possible. I'm not going to say it's not. Okay, so now we're doing the last thing. It says Cartographer calibrate. Most home X and Y first. That makes sense. This should be the last thing. B-Dog, were you the one that said that there's a profile for this in Orca Slicer? Okay, it is failing, so maybe it is the peak. Only 0.4 nozzle. That's fine. That's what I'm running at least for now. Kali, for you, I'm gonna try it in like the center of a build plate, or at least like a little bit shifted, okay? Okay, exceeded macro temps. Wonderful. Let's move this. Let's just go like 20. No, so okay, we're gonna try it here. Oh, it automatically moves it there. I don't have any choice. It moves it to center. Okay, so our options at this point are basically try to get it to not be so pointy there. I use a Rapido 0.5 nozzle under the 0.4 nozzle specs. Oh, nice. All right, let's emergency stop this. Firmware restart. Okay. The first print is probably just going to be a 20mm calibration cube. Nice. I'll probably do something like vase mode-y after that, but I just want to see if it can complete. I feel like we've got to be able to get Z travel faster on this. This feels very slow for a belted Z. Okay. So it looked like, yeah, I'm gonna say it's definitely like this front right. I mean, we should be able to look at this, right? If we go to desktop and we go to height map. Also, like, another 6 or 7 more minutes on the giveaway, and then we'll do that. Yeah, it looks like it's definitely the front right bed. So let me get a screwdriver and just tighten the screw down. It feels a little better. I think this guy is also too high. Now this guy feels too high. It's like, it's tricky to... Okay, that feels decent. Those definitely feel aligned. Those don't feel perfectly aligned. This side feels higher than this side to me, but at the corner it... Okay, let's try that. The old... You have a rail to put flat on the top. Yeah, I've got like a machine, like a little machinist square. So, I mean, this side looks... That looks not bad to me. Yeah, I think I mean, it's not going to be exact, but I think it's decent. I don't have any pieces of extrusion out here. I've got, actually, I've got these guys. They're not the stiffest. What? Scared me. It honestly doesn't look that bad left to right to me. It's mostly the corners right here though. It looks decent. I think I'm gonna run with it. Let's just see. Let's see if it's able to complete the probing without erring. Hey, BBs. Okay. So let's try this again. Home all. I would have liked to have seen center 4 holes tied together with a machine block and a single adjustment screw. Yeah, that would have been really nice. I mean, I'm at least thankful that they didn't rigid mount them. Like, they're on, you know, springs, so you can at least adjust them. But yeah, I'm sure there would have been a way to make it where the adjustment process was simpler. Everyone keep your fingers crossed. I'd love to get beyond this. This is like the last, this is really the last thing. And then I just need to check to make sure that our extruder motor is working and extruding in the right direction, and then we can fire away. I mean, there's more to do technically, but that's what's on my list of to do. Okay, attempt 1 failed. I might need to, like, it's still failing. I wonder what determines the failure. Deviation says 0.2167, so I wonder if is it a deviation range that it needs to hit? Still failing, but I am wondering if we were to run the other calibration prior to this, if it would be more successful now. Like if I were to go to the Cartographer threshold scan again to see if it's able to work a little bit better. The range got down to 0.04, so definitely was improving. Yeah, it still failed. All right, so let's just really quickly run this. Okay, and while it's doing this, let's get Orca Slicer set up. Let's not just wait on this. Try to multitask. We'll download the latest version of Orca Slicer. Also, I'm gonna 60 seconds and I'm gonna remove the link for the filament giveaway. We're giving away a spool of Polymaker filament, so it's been pinned in chat for like 30 minutes. If you want to enter in, click on the link now, and you've got like 2 minutes to fill it out. Is this the update that I wonder if it's in this version of Orca? I'm wondering if you can make solid bed mounts and use them instead to see how that does. Oh, got it. Like, make bed mounts that don't have springs and just secure them to that and see. Like, get rid of the adjustment is what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, they are bolted, they're all bolted to the extrusion cross beams, so I would think that that would be relatively flat, but who knows? Venture. Is it on here? Okay, so it's not on here. Is it on the, did you say it's on the latest version? So I have to go file, no, references. Wait, what'd the rep say? Dial indicator that mounts to the hot end. Or not be go. Oh, got it. No, on Venture GitHub. Oh, got it. Okay. Got it. So it's not officially an Orca Slicer. Venture XL GitHub. Oh, that's not useful GitHub. Okay, the link for the giveaway is officially removed. So if you're filling it out, you got another 60 seconds. All right, it stopped probing. Did it work or did it fail? That is the question. No fully optimal threshold found. Okay. It's been a minute since I've done this. Do they want us to drop these files into the installation repository? Or installation folder? Or are they just getting imported? Yeah, it probably is just a Boron 2.4 GPs. I kind of agree with that. Have you run input shaping? I have not. I have not ran input shaping yet. Okay, well, it seems like it found a threshold much faster. So that's a positive thing. So let's try this. So let's save that homeless and see if we're actually able to complete, because the concern I have is that
hey Daniel, I see your Milo enclosure is doubling as a 3D printer. Smiley face emoji.
Hey, what's going on? Yeah, this, I mean, no kidding, this would fit. I'm hoping to still get the Milo down from the studio into here and figure out a place for it. Yeah, I'm hoping sooner than later, man. I did see that you guys also released like a new version of Milo a month or two ago, maybe now? Or maybe it wasn't, I don't know. I saw it, like, time has been a blur for me, but I did see that you guys released at least like an updated version of Milo. Thank you also for the donation. Okay, so let's home this all and then see if we can successfully calibrate. All right. Please work. I'm assuming this is with the value I just saved. Failed. Failed. I don't get it, man. It just worked 3 in a row during the testing, so why is all of this failing? I'm just not understanding why. What is changing between the calibration that we just ran down here, that had a deviation of 0.004, 0.004, 0.004, and up here we're getting 0.34. Blowing my mind a little bit. Like, how are we bouncing, you know, from 0.0 back to 0.9? This tolerance is a bit small for this size of printer. Yeah, I don't. Did you run the calibration and add 250 for the touch? So we ran through. So we initially ran through this up here, like all this stuff, Backlash, all this. And then, yeah, we ran bed mesh calibrate. And this says, if you're not using touch, you should now continue, but we are using touch. So we did this. Yeah, and then we did this. If however you get an optimal result and it didn't touch the bed, no, that didn't happen to us. Minimum threshold 500. Once it gets an optimal threshold, you see the nozzle touching the bed. So it said that could it be Z stepper current? Maybe. Where did it save also the value that we just got? Is it down here? Scanner, yeah. So threshold 1000. So it did update with those values that were giving it much better results. So yeah, maybe it's something to do with our Z-axis or wait, read that note. What note? Once it finds optimal threshold, you've seen the nozzle, it will stop this process. You can stop here, but for most people, fine-tuning can be beneficial. Rerun this command with the minimum value since slightly higher. Got it. So in this case, we'd be looking at, oops. We'd be looking at 1250. Yeah, so run it at 1250 basically. So copy this. Home again. Because if we can't get this to work, we're not, I mean, I could go out of touch mode, but we're not going to be able to even start a print if we can't get it to home properly. So 1250 on this. Also, this, we didn't do the speed correctly. It should have been speed 2. That was our issue. Where did it go? There you go, thanks for. Yeah, so let's emergency stop, restart. The speed, it has to have higher speed. That helped me tons, but you could also have an issue with the Z. It's a big gantry, could be some flex. Yeah, it's possible. I'm pretty sure most everyone running this is running the cartographer that shipped with it. So I think it should work. I mean, it could be, also Kali said earlier that like there is a peak, a pretty big peak in our mesh that's right around where it homes in that corner, that center corner where the 4 beds meet up. I did adjust it. I haven't ran another scan to see how good of a job I did adjusting it, but I do know that we got better results when I ran speed set to 2. So let's try speed 2 and try min 1250 and see if those two things combined give us what we want. Yeah, I'm fine with offsetting it a little bit. How do we change the location? Not a whole lot is happening. We're trying to get, it's the cartographer. I mean, it might not be the cartographer, but like it is the cartographer. We're trying to get it to not fail when it does the nozzle probing. And so there's a couple theories. One of them is that the location of where we're probing is the issue because it's where the four corners of the bed meet. So if we can offset this, offsets remaining from your coil, so that's not the offset we want. How do we set, is there a way that we can override where it's doing this at? That is my question. What firmware is my cartographer at? Whatever's shipped on this thing, so that is going to be v1.0.0-97. Older firmware had an issue. Upgrade mine to latest before it started working right away. Got it. Well, maybe that's what we need to do. I don't know what the latest version is, but maybe we do need to update it. All right, let's do this giveaway. Let's give away a roll of filament. Nice, there's 100 some people hanging out. Thank you all for hanging out. If you haven't smacked the like button, let's at least get to 69 likes. Mine is on v1.2, so yours is two full versions ahead of me, because I'm 1.0, right? Isn't that what I said? 1.0. No. Yes, I'm on 1.0. Did I hear you're going to press the update button? No. No, I am not. Wait, the actual cartographer is running a different firmware. What do you mean by that? Oh, you're saying, got it. You're saying the firmware on the actual cartographer versus the firmware that is like the Clipper firmware for cartographer. Okay, so my cartographer is on an older version as well. So it sounds like I probably should update all things cartographer. Okay. Okay. Well, let's do this. Let's do this giveaway. We got 89 entries. Very nice. All right, the wheel of spinning. So for anyone that is new here, Polymaker allows us to give away a spool of filament every single stream. So we do that every Wednesday. This is a global giveaway, so it doesn't matter where you are. If you're in the US or Canada, you'll get a $35 gift card. Anywhere else, you can pick, I believe it's any spool on their website up to $35 in value. So the winner will receive an email from me either later tonight or in the next 24 hours, depending on sick kids and what's going on. And it will come from my personal email. Basically, it'll have a link to the form you need to fill out, as well as a unique ID that you'll need to enter into that form. So good luck to everybody. Thank you all for entering in. Thank you to Polymaker for letting us do this. To be honest, if you have a beacon on hand, it might be worth upgrading this printer and saving the cartographer for something else. I have an older beacon on hand, like not the latest version. It's the like the non-ADXL version. Wait, no, did I have an ADXL? I think it's the non-ADXL version that's like 2 boards. But I've heard good things about Cartographer, so I'd like to try getting it working just to have the experience with it. How many times are we shuffling today? Let's see, it's currently 9 days to Halloween. You have D and H, gotcha. Yeah, I have one D and 2 H's, or no, I think I have 2 D's and 1 H, possibly. Danny says 18. 18 is twice, 9 times 2. We'll do 18 for you. Oh, we got 9s, 2 9s. How many? Danny was like real early and ready for this, so we're gonna do 18 for Danny today. All right, everyone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Good luck to all of you. In 3, 2, and 1. Wayne Wenthin, you are our winner today. Cheers. Over here. Congratulations over the never-ending probing hot end. Congratulations, Wayne. You are our winner. I will try to get you the email tonight, but yeah, just be on the lookout in the next 24 hours. If for some reason you don't see it, check your spam, and then if you still don't see it, just ping me on anything. But I've been really good about getting the emails out, so it should be there. And yeah, thank you to Polymaker for letting us do these giveaways, and we will do another one next week at the same place around the same time. So I think the next step is going to be probably to update the Cartographer. I don't have any inkling as to how simple or not simple of a process that's going to be. We've been streaming for 3 hours. Holy cow. I didn't realize it's been 3 hours. Okay, let's look at docs here for updating. So there's 2 options via Catapult or DFU. Do we know if Catapult is installed on this? Do we know if Catapult's installed in this? I haven't looked at any firmware stuff. Hey, Wayne, thank you so much for the support, man. Was this your first? I don't think you've won before a giveaway on here. I could be wrong. I definitely cannot remember every giveaway ever, but I don't recall you winning before. What version of Clipper am I on? I am on Clipper version 0.12.0-401. Nope, awesome. Yeah, well, congratulations on winning, man. Hopefully you can get a cool spool of filament. I mean, they have crazy amount of options. I've had a couple of people that have won filaments on here that have like told me like, man, it was really difficult to figure out which spool I wanted to go with. If it doesn't go to bootloader, that's quite old. Is there a reason we are running a dirty version of Clipper on here? How does your update manager match up to the one I just sent on Discord? I will tell you right now. Let's see. I'm gonna move the iPad back over here. It's blocking the computer. Boop. What is Nevermore as an update? Why is Nevermore as an update, or what is? 0.15.1-31 is what that shows for Nevermore. Okay, so you sent it in here. Where did you send the, did you DM me? Or did you post it in a channel? Message requests. Nope. Oh, DM. I don't see it. Are you sure you DM the right person? Direct messages. The last one I've got is from LTX Design, and I got a message request. The last message request I have is from 5 days ago. Unless you're in spam. Nope, not in spam. Yeah. Oh, Nick. From when? Oh wow. Yeah, you messaged me. It's because you had messaged me, I guess, a month ago. I didn't see it. The stuff like message requests just end up staying in requests pretty much forever because I don't get notifications for them. So let me accept DM. So here you are. Okay. So your Cartographer shows 1.2, so you're definitely on a newer version of Cartographer. Your crow's nest is 4.1.16, while I am on 4.1.10. Your Clipper, mine's 0.12.0. Yours is 0.13.0. So yeah, you're pretty much everything on yours is updated properly. And is your Clipper not dirty on yours? Your Clipper is not, or it is dirty, right? It has the info next to it, which usually means dirty. Or am I wrong? Yeah, it is dirty. Wondering if I should replace my Z chain with a Z umbilical before submitting for a stealth changer serial, or just let it rip. I would just let it rip. Because this is a dirty repo of Clipper, I cannot use Kaya or something like that, right? To just update it, because wouldn't that... Kaya won't pull an update from the repo. Won't it pull an update from the official repo and basically overwrite it? Don't think I've had Clipper not dirty. Or am I wrong? So let's go SSH. What is, I don't also remember what the, someone in here knows what the SSH credentials are for this. I think we checked once before. I just can't remember. It's like FYSEC. FYSEC at 192. One 192.168.105.138. Oh, that worked. FYSEC worked. Can't you link Kaya to the FYSEC Venture XL repo for updates under the advanced menu? I haven't done that. I don't know. I'm not saying that you can't do that. I just don't know. Let's pull this. Let's go. Oops. Let's see if Kaya is already installed on the back end first. So let's just grab the command to run it. Okay, it is installed. New Kaya update available. You want to update now? Yes. Yes. Please restart. Cool. Okay, so I've never done either, but I think that's one way of running a fork version of Clipper. Oh, is it proper dirty as in a FYSEC image of Clipper? I don't know. I don't know whether it's a FYSEC. Let's see, if we go under here. No. No, it's not. Repo has an untracked. Okay, so it's just. Repo has an untracked source files, and those are just ledeffect.py. So that's just Nevermore. It looks like Nevermore stuff. But the other one says repo is dirty. Detected the following modified files: Clippy, and then mcu.py. Thanks, Keep. I get mixed feedback on the music, but I really enjoy it. I really enjoy it. Okay, so you think just go for official updates? Like we'll just go through here and update everything? We could go into the Clipper directory and git pull. I also haven't done loading menu. Loading update menu, please wait. It feels like it's taken a really long time to load the update menu. It's pointing to the official repo. Repository changed its seed value from error updating system package list. Huh. Okay, well we're gonna update. We'll update this. Yeah, we're gonna just update everything. Maybe not system. Okay, so we can't. An unexpected error occurred. None type object, no attribute decode traceback. Traceback error. During handling of the above exceptions, another exception occurred. Traceback errors. Okay. What is going on? Sudo ft get installed. I don't think it'll let me do this again, but I'm wondering if something broke with the install or if it's something with the image. Not found. Reading packing list. The repository mirrors Debian Bullseye release no longer has a release file. Updating from such repository can't be done securely and is therefore disabled by default. Here's a workaround for the error, but you have to go to tell it to ignore a specific file that has much beyond the scope of expertise. I'm tempted. I'm tempted to just update it in the frickin' in the CD can't clone because it already exists. Yes, that makes sense. I don't think I've ever seen that error. I'm tempted to just hit update from the browser. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, is just trying to update it via mainsail. Yeah, so it's gonna error out on here. I've never updated not in mainstall, or in mainstall. I've done it a couple of times. I've broken it a couple of times. I don't know, maybe I've broken it like once or twice, which is kind of what spooked me, but. So is repo dirty? So I'm concerned about this. I'm not sure what's gonna happen if I recover this. I would also do a full upgrade to Pi and don't update the one that updates. But don't update the one that updates the kernels. Sometimes it might not recover. You mean like, what is it, the pseudo system update or whatever for the whole Pi? Message file. SSH into the device and run the script. Is it because it needs to be under Clipper? No. We're now on Bookworm, not Bullseye. Got it. Oh, I don't know if I feel like going through firmware stuff right now. I might just do this on my own later on. Yeah, I might just do this on my own. Basically, try to update that Pi itself. See if I can update Clipper, to the latest Clipper version, and then see if I can update the Cartographer. I mean, the main thing I want to update is Cartographer to see, like, I get that there might be new features in the newer version of Clipper, and I would not be upset with having them, but the main thing I want to do is see if we can update the Cartographer to see if we can get it to not error out so that we can actually print. Like, that's, you know, that's the main thing. I literally clicked the dirty and hit update all, and it worked great. Okay, I might just YOLO it too, man. Maybe I'll do a Pi system update and then just try to update everything from the browser and hope for the best. And if it doesn't work, then I'll tell you guys all about it next week and we'll laugh together about it. But yeah, I mean, the main thing I want is just to print. And right now, with the touch set up the way that it is, because it cannot complete a nozzle probe consistently because the tolerances or the range is too great. I guess that's the deviation is too great. We can't print unless I disable it, which I can do, but I'd rather not. I kind of want to use that. Especially give people images to use for this. I don't know anything about the Venture XL, but I would just do a fresh install of Debian and install everything myself. I did that with a GD+4. I don't, they did give, I think there was one thing I saw earlier in the Venture XL. Let's check really quick. It's like a last thing here. Let's see. So this is the CM68, which is basically the screen board here, which is where this is ran. The control board in this kit has been pre-installed with Clipper OS and MCU firmware at the factory, and it's pre-configured. As long as the wiring is correct, do not perform the following steps unless you are sure you want to reinstall the firmware. The K7 panel uses a CM68 core board based on the RK3 host Clipper. The system is compiled based on Debian 10, and the environment and plugins required by Clipper are pre-installed. We've already filed from the correct UID for wiring and boot. In general, the pre-install systems can be used without reflashing unless you encounter unsolvable problems. The OS is here. System image files for the first batch of products. Improve this system stability in the internal beta and solve the problems that some people always reporting lost communication. Huh, so maybe I should update. Maybe I should just update to that version to not have that. Power the Venture XL, plug in a USB 3.0, open the DevTools, click the upgrade firmware button. Yeah, so there's a file. I have a feeling I'm probably running this version, the early version. So this is a 7.10.24 600 V2. Okay, so there's a date. 0514 0603. So I'm sure I'm running the 05, the earlier version of these two things. So you probably have a dirty install for something to do with the hardware they give you in the kit. Could it be the screen? I'm curious as to what in this kit would require a dirty version. The toolhead board shouldn't. The screen is the only thing I can think of that maybe... No, but it's running Clipper screens. It's not running its own firmware, so I can't see why that would be the case. Is it the Cartographer that's making it dirty? You have to run a dirty repo for Cartographer, or is that officially baked into Clipper now? I don't know that. I can't think of anything else offhand right now that would require a dirty install. I'm on Bookworm and everything else is screaming update. Yeah, I will probably, because I haven't done much as far as changes go, other than the stagger heating and like a couple things. So what I'll likely do is, I'll probably download my printer.cft file right now, and then update to their later version that has an updated config, and then system update, and then try to update everything from the browser and see how it goes. It shouldn't be the Carto. I don't know what the Nevermore thing is, but if it's Stealth Max, it's possibly that. It is Stealth Max. Yeah. I don't even have it installed. I don't know if I'm going to install it. I certainly won't install it until I have this thing enclosed, which who knows when that will be. Yeah, I mean, the only config files I've modified are printer.cfg and I added one. I added the variable bed one, which is probably on the second page. No, there's no second page. Yeah. I'd really like to get the Cartographer updated. All right, I'm gonna call it. I just kind of just go in circles right now. I'm sad we're not printing. Everything is working. Everything is working. It's just the Cartographer nozzle probing that needs work. And if everyone is saying that the latest version fixes some things, and it seems like the 3 people that I checked are running 1.2 version, and I'm on 1.0, I'd like to update it to see if that resolves the issue. But while doing that, it's probably not a bad idea to update some other things. But it's one of those things where it's like, updating things can screw things up. So with how close we are, I'm a little bit torn on what the move is here. So we'll see. I'll think about it. If I can figure out how to just get the Cartographer probe updated and just leave everything else as is, and it just kind of works, maybe I'll do that. But we did get already an MCU error earlier, and if the new version of the firmware does, if it does improve on it a little bit, then it might be worth just doing that as well. It is CAN. I don't know. I don't know if CAN was the error earlier. I think it was the spider board, but it is running CAN. Yeah, it's CAN bus to the CAN bus to the toolhead board, and then CAN bus to the Cartographer. Yeah. I don't know how many times Kaya updating has put me 1 step forward and 7 steps back. Yeah, I don't really update my printers. Like I know like probably people have different opinions on that. I'm sure there's like security updates that some people really care about, as well as feature updates. But unless there's something like that's really a new nice feature that I'm like, I gotta have it. If a printer has been working for months and months and there's nothing I need to change, like I've burned myself quite a few times by having a thing nearly working, updating it, and being like, oh no, everything is broken. And I've had to spend hours, you know, trying to get it back to where it was. So I've found a fresh installed Esoterical's Guide update really makes CAN work well. Ended up reflashing everything I got in such a mess. Yeah, so we'll see. I will do my best to have this rock and rolling. I might, like, for the sake of us being able to print next stream, my dream would be to have the firmware stuff figured out, either take a Voron 2.4 profile and scale it up and connect it to this and get the start macro working, or download the one from the GitHub and print out a cube off stream to make sure it actually worked. So that way next week we can actually just print and I can show you things, versus this, like, it feels like every week there's a carrot being dangled in front of me of like, oh, printer's done, like you can print now. And then and then reality hits in. And it's been like that for the last couple of streams on this, where I'm like, cool, today's the day. I thought for sure we'd be printing today. So I think I'd like to just get it printing on my own at this point, versus just having you guys go in circles with me. And I'm happy to share, you know, whatever ends up working or not working, but that's probably what I'll end up doing. So just update everything. Yeah, I mean, if I can't just update the Cartographer easily, then I might just update everything. But I will, the first things first is, like, I am a firm believer in backing up your config files before doing that. And while I haven't changed a lot, I've changed a few things where I'd rather back the config files up. So anyways, I'm gonna stop ranting. On that note, I appreciate all of you hanging out today. There will be a video up this Saturday. There should be a video up this Saturday. And the plan is currently that next week, because I've done all the firmware on this and it's ready, we just print and chill. Every time I say that, I jinx myself, but that's the plan. And then I'm still waiting on the kit to arrive, but I'm hoping between this week and 2 weeks from today, I've printed out all the parts for the Micron Plus build so we can start building the Micron Plus, because that is a build that I'm very excited for. So it'll be a nice change going from like ginormous to adorable size printer again. So that's the game plan. Carto should flash over CMD fairly easily. Okay. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Dangling carrot. Maybe that'll be our first print on stream. Is just a carrot. So, but thanks a lot. Want to take care. It's nice to finally catch a stream after like a year of forgetting or being busy. Yeah, thank you all for hanging out. I wish, hopefully it was something came from today. I do feel like we made progress. I say that every single week, but not as much as I would have liked, but we did make progress. And I'm also pleased that the deviation on the bed was only 1.5 millimeters, considering I didn't spend that much time dialing it in, and considering this is a massive build plate with 4 beds in one. And I am really curious, after I did those slight tweaks, what that brought our center down to. And then, you know, if I can refine the corners a little bit more, it'd be nice to get us down to like, if I can get us down to like 0.5 or 0.6 across the entire build plate, considering the size and what this printer is, I think I could live with that. I could be pretty okay with that. So Micron is such a fun build. I love mine. Yeah, I'm super excited, Hobo. It's been on my list for a really long time. So, all right, everyone, have a wonderful night and rest of your week, and I will hopefully catch you guys next week when we print out a carrot. All right, y'all. I'll talk to you later. Bye, everyone.